we worked all over the world with those two. You know, with Samu, the head shrinkers.
The head shrinkers, yeah.
Yeah.
Luke, you could tell Luke and Butch were feeling oozy way before Roman Reigns.
You know, we were in the 60s, Butch and me were wrestling The Rock's grandfather.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
High Chief Peter Maivia.
Yes, actually, absolutely.
In the 60s. And Andre, it wasn't Andre the Giant, it was
Gene Ferree.
Gene Ferree. We wrestled in the 60s, Gene Ferree. He was 350 pounds, 7'2". You know, and when we had him at the last match before he went, he left WWF, he was 540. So he went from 350 to 540. But we wrestled him in handicap matches all around New Zealand. It's 69, 70.
That is absolutely crazy. I mean, let's go back to what you just said. When you talk about High Chief Peter Maivia, the Samoans have ruled wrestling for so many years. And even now with Roman Reigns and the Usos, they are still like at the top of the wrestling game. Do you have any stories with the Samoan family, the Samoan dynasty for so long?
Well, you know, when I came over here and 79, I came over to North America in 72. In 79, I was with Arthur and Sika. Now, the Roman Reigns' sister, Arthur and Sika's sister, had Umaga and Rikishi. Their sister had Umaga and Rikishi, and Roman Reigns is from Sika, but I know Sika and Arthur, we all were living in Pensacola, Florida. They all lived there. I think Sika still lives there. He lived on the West Coast, and then he came back, and he's in Pensacola. But I go back to them when we were all there together. They were working for Bill Watts, and they would come into the territory. I was working for the Robert Fullers, Continental Wrestling, and they would come home and work a few shots with them. And that's how Samu then, well, that's Arthur's son, Samu. He was about 12 or 13 then. And of course, Samu and Rikishi, well, it's not Rikishi, before, we worked with them. Rikishi was only 260 pounds then. We worked all over the world with those two. You know, with Samu, the head shrinkers.
The head shrinkers, yeah. Luke, you could tell Luke and Butch were feeling oozy way before Roman Reigns.
And did you ever think to yourself that Rikishi's behind would become his biggest asset?
No, you know, I remember too. Yokozuna when he was small. Yokozuna and Rikishi, they're from the same family, and Umaga, and you know now Rikishi's alive. Umaga and Yokozuna are dead. That's from the same family. That's very sad there.
Yeah.
And I saw Rikishi about a month ago, and he's getting very big too. He's getting bigger.
Okay, all right. And again, circling back to something you mentioned Andre the Giant. We have heard so many stories about his drinking. Was he the biggest drinker that you were around? Or I know Flair came to
Andre in 2.5 hours, that's 90 minutes, Andre, excuse me, sir, Andre and his manager, he was another Frenchman, about 270 pounds, I forgot his name, and then they drank 72 beers in 90 minutes, and that Andre, with a beer, would be 2.5 sips for 12 ounce beer. We had to stop. We were on a road trip. we had to stop and get 72 more beer. Butch and me were in the back seat, and Andre was in the front, and his manager was beside him.
So, I mean, when you talk about your legacy, I mean, I'm talking about the WWE run of your career. I mean, the company is known for so many comedic acts that followed. Have any of them come up to you and told you how instrumental you were in bringing comedy to professional wrestling?
Yeah, you know, a lot of them have come and thanked us for helping them. You know what I mean? And one of the major ones was Vince's right-hand man, John Laurinaitis.
Yes.
You know, he was our flag bearer. We more or less broke him into business. You know, and taught him. He became a wrestler, and he went over to Japan, and he was Giant Barber's right-hand man for about 5 years. And then when he died, he took over the book there for Mrs. Barber. Yeah, John, and then there's the Nasty Boys and other teams have come and thanked us for helping them. You know, they came into WWF, they were green as hell and stiff as hell, and Butch and me had to break them in. Before that too, another team that we gave a big break to. They weren't big guys, they were small guys with big hearts, were the Fantastics. Bobby Fulton and Tommy Rogers. I gave Bobby Fulton his first main event match in Texas in a scaffold match. That was his first ever main event, a scaffold match against Eric Emery, and we sold out the building. So that was, and he never forgot that. He always thanks me. The funny part is, he runs independent shows around US and he runs big shows. He draws 3,000 to 4,000 people for an independent show, which is very good. And Bobby Fulton, he always thanks me for giving him the break and helping him.
That is so great. One crazy statistic that I came across before this interview was that your latest match was in 2022 at the age of 75, I think. You wrestled a match this year, if I'm not mistaken. What drives you to compete even right now?
What competes? I don't know. It's got to be in my blood, mate. You know, I've been doing it since 1962. And, you know, I get told by the doctors, you know, that they think I'm not in the ring. But I still like to get in the ring with the younger guys and have a match. You know what I mean? I don't know. How can I explain it? It's just, I guess, when I stop, maybe that's when my downfall is. You know, I still get in the ring.
You know, I had a chat with a wrestler 2 days ago who wants to get in the ring with you.
Who is that? Exclusive.
Yeah. I don't know if you'd know who he is, but Luke knows who he is. Bob Cook. He was a wrestler in Championship Wrestling from Florida. Said he'd be honored to step back in the ring with Luke again. So maybe they'll make that happen.
Yeah. Now, mate, I'm the second oldest in the world and we're still wrestling today in the ring. And that's in the Wikipedia. You know, Wikipedia could be a lot of BS, bullshit, but they've got that there. You know, that I'm the second oldest. The oldest is the great Kochika in Japan.
And Lawler, I think, still wrestles once in a while, right? But
yeah, I saw Luke wrestle Gangrel just about a year ago.
Wow. Is there someone, so if Triple H calls you, Hunter calls you and says, you can pick anyone from today's roster to go up against, who are you going up against?
Well, there's one rematch that I'd like to have. But the guy is not on today's roster. I worked with him since the 70s, and he's got a bit of a bad reputation around the world because of Bruiser Brody. But it's the Invader One. We had so many feuds with them and Drew Ballpark. You know, going back in the 70s and the 80s, we drew 25,000 in the ballparks then, and that was great. You know, these were tag matches and single matches with the Invader.